Hello, everyone. It's Matthew Burrows here. I've been asked to take a quick look at how SFIA, the skills framework for the information age, deals with product management. This is an area that's become a lot more relevant to organizations over the last few years, particularly organizations who've started to think about their tools and their services as a product and to drive it through a product life cycle. So we have covered this in Sophia for a few versions now, and the current published version, which is version 7, has a skill in there called product management, so a specific skill around product management. And you can see it describes the active management of products or services through their life cycle. We have a description of this skill at a number of different levels, so level 6, 5, 4, and 3, to reflect the fact that product management as a skill or competency is practiced at a number of different levels within a lot of organizations. So everything from level 3, applying the standards and techniques, carrying out analysis and performance monitoring around specific products, supporting problem resolution, resolving issues, and so on, through to creating product collateral, monitoring results, and feedback from product campaigns. As we move up through the levels, it starts getting more into the product manager type activities, or in fact, the product owner as well. So you can see here in level 4, acts as product owner for one or more lower value products or services. And as we move up the levels, we obviously increase the ownership, increase the complexity of the products that they are taking ownership for. And then at the top of this skill, at level 6, as with a lot of level 6 descriptions, it's really about the policy and strategy for how product management, in this case, product lifecycle management, how it's done throughout the organization. So this as a skill has been in SFIA for a while now, previous versions. Some of you may be aware that we're looking at the next version of SFIA, SFIA 8, and we've released a beta version of that for consultation and comment. And the full release of that is due around the end of September 2021. So again, within that version, our current status on that, we're retaining the product management skill, but you'll notice a few differences in the structure of SFIA. We've taken that slightly wordy overall description and split it into 2 sections, a much more concise and manageable and understandable overall description that's just a single sentence. So in this case, product management, managing and developing products or services through their full life cycle from inception, growth, maturity, decline to retirement. Some of the words that are in the previous description have been moved to a new section that's called guidance notes. So this gives you a little bit of background, a little bit of context for that particular professional skill described by SFIA and how it's often applied. Then we have the descriptions at each of the levels at which we describe SFIA. So again, we've got levels 6, 5, 4, and 3 covered within SFIA. But product management isn't the only skill within SFIA that would be relevant to people and to roles that are involved in the product management area. So another part of SFIA, under the tools and resources section, we have a couple of things that are relevant here. One is what we call SFIA Views. So these are subsets of the SFIA skills and competencies that are particularly relevant to certain disciplines. So for example, software engineering is one of the views that we have. And if we take a quick look at the skills at a glance section, it will show you a couple of different categories below software engineering. So core software engineering competencies, software engineering management competencies, and then related enterprise IT competencies. And you may notice within the subset of the SFIA skills that are most relevant to these disciplines, we cover things like product management is one of the skills that's here, but also quite a large number of other skills from SFIA that are relevant to roles and to people operating within that discipline. Software engineering isn't the only view that's relevant when it comes to product management. It's also in there in digital transformation, also in big data and data science, and DevOps as well, and DevSecOps as a discipline. So again, if we look at the DevOps view, we can see we split it down into culture, automation, and ways of working. And the ways of working definitely pulls out some product management, but also things like methods and tools. The methodologies and frameworks that we use for product management would be relevant here. Gathering requirements, requirements definition and management, information security, user experience evaluation, as well as the resolution and support processes and skills like change management, incident, problem, and so on. So within SFIA, we cover these views which describe those different competency areas and different subsets of the SFIA skills. But we also have a section on standard skill profiles. So we have well over 500 role profiles and job descriptions that have been created by different organizations around the world and then mapped through to SFIA. So this includes things like cybersecurity and information security skills aligned to the NICE framework from the US. We have Australian Public Service. We have the UK government DDAT roles as well. There's a number of different roles that are defined here. And if we take a look at a couple of these, let's move on to maybe the UK government DDAT roles. We'll notice there's 156 roles within the current mapping. And having a look down these, they're split into different clusters: IT ops, product delivery, which includes a section on product manager type roles. And you can see a number of roles here: head of product, lead product manager, senior product manager, and associate product manager. So that's one of the areas, and those roles are defined in SFIA terms. So let me give you a couple of examples of those by looking in the Skills TX tool to show you. So I've picked out a few examples. This one's from the Australian public sector product manager role. And you can see definitely the product management skill is relevant to this role, but also things like relationship management, change implementation planning and management, requirements definition and management, and demand management. So there's an industry standard role that recognizes that it's more than just a single skill that is relevant to roles in product management. We look at a couple of other examples. There's product owner. Again, you'll notice some of the skills are similar here and others are new skills from the framework. If we go back to that UK government DDAT framework, we've got product manager, where they've highlighted 3 core skills from the SFIA framework that are relevant to that role in alignment with the DDAT framework. We also have senior product manager. We've also got product owner from this time from the EU ICT roles. So there are a number of sets of guidance that will define the particular skills in SFIA that are most relevant to this area of product management. So of course, what can you do with that? Well, the first thing is perhaps in recruitment. One of the things that SFIA is often used for is to create job descriptions and role profiles, and then to use those in advertising for jobs and roles for vacancies out there. We've seen certain examples here. I've just got a couple examples. Senior product manager, this time in an artificial intelligence setting. So of course, we could take this description of this role and what the senior product manager does in this particular organization. We can see the key responsibilities, and then we can map that to SFIA and highlight the particular skills that would be relevant to this role. So in this case, defining the product roadmaps. So that's partly product management, that skill we were looking at earlier, but also things like portfolio management would be relevant here. Developing business requirements. So we mentioned business requirements definition as one of the skills. We mentioned the user experience skill set as well within SFIA. So developing user stories, product specifications, architectures. So the trained eye, knowing SFIA well, you would be able to pick out the SFIA skills and the level of those skills that are relevant for this role, and use that in advertising the vacancy. And then when people apply for the role, you can use SFIA to assess what skills they have and then compare those skills against the skills from your job description or role profile, and use that throughout your recruitment process to identify gaps and find the closest match, and ultimately to support your decision making about hiring. But of course, it's not just about hiring, it can be about development as well for existing employees. So, having specified the role and what roles are relevant to product management in your organization, from an individual perspective, they can compare their SFIA based skill profile with the requirements of one of these jobs or roles, and they can see where they stand, where their gaps are, have better conversations with their managers about their development planning. And this can be done at individual level, it can be done at team level, or across the wider organization. So once you've got the data of what skills do we have in the organization, what skills do we need, you can analyze that data. So I could take a look at my organization and see how many people I have with the product management skill. So I can see where they are. I can divide them by country. So if I'm looking for somebody with product management skills in a particular geography, I can see which roles or jobs they're involved in. I can have a look at this data. I can use it to help development, help recruitment and promotion, all sorts of activities I can use that for. And as we say, it's not just the product management skill itself. There are other skills that are relevant here. So I can use this data to see how well my organization is doing in preparing for this product management type discipline. Okay, I hope that's been useful. It's a really quick walkthrough at a high level how we cover and support product management and other related skills within SFIA.